Hi everyone. So I just want to do a little reflection here about this evidence-based practice course and how it went. It was it was frustrating and tough at times, but totally worth it now that I'm through and everything seems a lot more relaxed now, and I feel like I learned a ton this semester. I remember looking into evidence-based practice at the beginning of the semester and talking about research. It's all about the literature, and through this experience, I've learned that that isn't necessarily the case. It's about the clinician's experience and the patient preference as well as the literature combined to make the best decision for your patient. And there's something very unique and holistic about that really is really something different, I think. So I was also, in terms of doing the projects and assignments through this course, I was really um, taken back by how much time and effort goes into research. Just finding articles alone, not even reading them or anything like that. Doing the PICO Part 1 question was extremely challenging, or the searching assignment, I'm sorry, was very time consuming and challenging, more so than I realized, just to find the right terms. And there's a lot more that goes into searching, like Boolean phrases and explosions and such, that were so much harder than I anticipated and so much more time consuming. But I realized as I started to get comfortable using these things, my searches got more narrow and I was less frustrated by the vast number of articles that came back, especially using the interlibrary loan. In undergrad, I never used that, and now I used it once or twice, and it was very beneficial to get more articles than I thought I was able to, and it reduced my frustration and made everything a whole lot easier for me. I also always struggled with reading literature. I just I don't know what it was. I struggled to hold my interest, or for me to get all the main reports from it. But I learned through this course, using the 5-step method to reading, I learned to include and choose which articles I read based on more information that's presented up front. And then I also learned, once I started reading, how to get the most out of the information. I used to just read an article once and say that was it, and now, I'm checking title, abstract, authors, intro, tables, and the discussion before I even start to read the whole thing. And that has made everything, although it's a little bit more time consuming, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it, and it makes it a lot easier. I've also, so all the way through undergrad, my old institution used to write, we had to write in APA format, which is a lot different than AMA. So through this course, I've kind of learned how to write in the way that most clinicians write, and it took some getting used to, but I think I picked it up fairly well. In terms of citations, were a little bit different. The biggest thing that confused me was in the reference page. The order in which things were done was a little bit different and threw me for a loop for the first week or two, but I think I got that down pretty well. PICO questions, I think were different. I think I learned about them in undergrad, but when PICO questions were first mentioned in this class, I remember thinking, oh, I know what that is, or I remember talking about that, but I have no idea what it is. So now that I've spent some time working with PICO questions and all of that, I've come to realize that it's an integral part in being a clinician in order to answer questions that you have, be it practice-based research, which I had no idea what that was. And while we didn't really go into that too much in this class, for the in-person portion, through talking with some of the other students in the second years, I learned a little bit more of what practice-based evidence is and how that is used efficiently. I think the one part where I struggled the most this semester was synthesizing information. I think I did a good job of gathering information, understanding, but in summarizing, did a pretty good job at it, but I think I could have done a better job synthesizing and breaking it down more for the layperson, the information that I gather, breaking it down so the layperson can understand it. And that was something that I still have to work on. It's a work in progress, but I think I've definitely gotten better. It's not quite where I want it to be. I know my Ignite presentation we finished up today, I think I didn't format it as well as I could have, but I think if I were to start it again, I think I could do a better job. But overall, I'm relatively happy with how that went. I also learned what an Ignite presentation was, and that was a big challenge, but it was very intimidating at first, but as we went through it, it wasn't as, it was with enough preparation, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Again, I've never written an abstract before, so doing that was something different for me. Finally know how to write an abstract and what different, that I didn't actually realize that different articles needed different things in their abstract depending on the type of article it was and the type of research. So that was something new that I learned, didn't realize about. So through this whole thing, I think I would have come to realize is I'm not as timid, or I'll say repelled by the research. I used to not really enjoy looking up the research, and I think now I've come to realize its usefulness. While I might not be the biggest fan of going and researching it, I do realize it does have a huge use in our clinical practice. And there are a lot of questions that I have that I want answered, and the best place to go for that is the literature or other clinicians. I learned that a lot in our discussions this weekend, where I learned as much research as we read. I think I learned more just from talking to all the other clinicians in the room for the in-portion person this weekend. And I think that's where I kind of learned the most about how to integrate research, is seeing people who have done it for a while, how they use it. And I think what I'm most proud of this semester was, even in the times when it was challenging and the semester just kind of seemed to keep grinding along, was that I was able to just do just that, just keep grinding along and making it through until eventually got to the end. And now looking back, I realized how much the struggle was worth it, and that I think I'm glad I did it, made it through, and I learned so much from the process. So just the ISU DAT was really worth my time already, and I'm only just beginning, so I can't wait to see what I have left to do and how much more I can learn. And that's it. Everyone have a great summer, and thanks for watching.